1,
2,
3, 4,
5.
6.
Hi everybody, I'm Renee. I'm going to talk to y'all tonight about a tragedy that occurred in West Texas on April 17th, 2013. This is a picture of the town before the explosion. As you can see, the fertilizer plant's a good sized plant here. Very close to it is a playground, a middle school, a high school, and a nursing home here. When the blast exploded, you'll see from this picture that it destroyed 37 blocks worth of homes and businesses. It completely destroyed the fertilizer plant and a lot of the homes around it. The nursing home was demolished and the middle school was demolished as well. According to the Dallas Morning News on April 23rd, 14 people were killed. 12 of those people were first responders that responded to the fire that eventually turned into an explosion. The other 2 people that were killed, one was a resident of the nursing home and the other was a resident of the apartment complex that was also demolished in the blast. And what had happened was the fertilizer plant had ammonium nitrate in it. That there was a fire that occurred and the ammonium nitrate got so hot that it exploded and caused all the devastation in the town. There were over 200 people injured. Part of the injuries were glass in their eyes and their skin, broken bones. And then one recently, as a result of the accident with post-traumatic stress disorder and blast-induced neurotrauma, he committed suicide. So there's been a lot of devastation in that town and they're trying to recover still today. The causes of the blast, they're not sure yet. The ATF and the Texas Fire Marshals have investigated it for over a month and they determined that the cause was undetermined. They said that the only things that they couldn't rule out was a battery and a golf cart that possibly exploded, electrical issues that may have caused the fire that then caused the explosion, or arson. One of the first responders that responded to the scene that survived was later found with homemade pipe bombs. So he was also investigated but later ruled out, but they still didn't rule out arson altogether. According to the government executive article on June 3rd, the chemical board is still investigating the explosion. They were pretty much shut out of the investigation by ATF and the fire marshals for unknown reasons, but they would like to continue their investigation on their own and look into safe storage and handling of the ammonium nitrate. So part of the investigation is to look into alternatives which may have prevented this type of explosion. And one of those alternatives is government regulations, because there are no current government regulations that are upheld right now for these type of facilities. They pretty much govern themselves. The last time this facility was even looked at was in the 80s, and they had numerous violations. They paid their $30 fine and no one ever came back to see if they corrected any of those violations. One other thing is alternative products. Alternative products would include some ammonium nitrate that is currently being used overseas, where they have reconstructed the ammonium nitrate and coated it with a protective coating, which will keep the ammonium nitrate from getting so hot that it will eventually explode. And if y'all remember, the ammonium nitrate is the substance that was used in the Oklahoma bombing. So they've known about this type of explosion for a long time, just nothing's ever really been done about it. So hopefully with the further investigation by the chemical board and some of the private agencies and the lawsuits that have been filed as a result of the explosion, they'll be able to find better alternatives and better regulations to prevent something like this from happening again. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Do you know what the ammonium nitrate is made of?
Ammonium nitrate.
Well, it's got to be something else.
The ammonium nitrate is actually, it's a part of a fertilizer that it's added to the fertilizer that gives it the extra nutrients. Like, have you ever been to like Home Depot and picked up like your plants and it has the little white dots inside of it? That is actually the ammonium nitrate.
See?
What was the name of the town that the plant was in?
It's a city called West in Texas. It's a small town just south of Dallas, about 2 hours from Dallas.
So is that just a Texas procedure that that they don't have to pass any regulations, or is that throughout the United States?
That's actually throughout the United States. They have, at this point, they have some regulations, but like I said, nobody actually follows them. They pretty much regulate themselves. Thank y'all.